Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old as gold, but these rare Kennedy half-dollar coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. You've just stumbled upon one of the most exciting mysteries in American coinage. Get ready, because today we're diving deep into one of the most elusive and talked about coins in modern US history, the rare 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. This isn't just another coin. This is a hidden relic from America's past, a shining silver clue wrapped in mystery, mistakes, and massive value. You might even have one hiding in your old coin jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer. And by the end of this video, you'll know why this ordinary-looking half-dollar could be hiding an extraordinary fortune. Let's rewind time for a moment to understand how this coin came to be. It's 1972. America is in the middle of change. Vietnam is winding down. Nixon is president. The space race is still fresh in the national memory. And in Denver, the U.S. Mint is striking millions of Kennedy half-dollars to keep up with demand, named in honor of the beloved President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination in 1963. The Kennedy half-dollar had become a symbol of hope, pride, and national unity. The coin itself was a tribute to a fallen leader, and by 1972, it had become a regular part of American pocket change. But not all 1972 half-dollars were created equal, and now here's where things get interesting. While most of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollars were minted flawlessly, a very small number had something go wrong, something very specific, very rare, and very valuable. You see, these coins were supposed to feature a reverse design unique to 1972, one that shows a clearly detailed and properly aligned image of the presidential seal. But a few coins somehow ended up with a reverse intended for a different minting variety. This error was so subtle, so expertly hidden, that it went unnoticed by the public for decades, but to a trained eye, it's a completely different story. The details on the earth below the eagle are wrong. The continents are misplaced. The texture is off. It's a map that doesn't match reality, a minting mistake that turns this regular coin into a historical anomaly. And in the world of coin collecting, that means serious money. Now, let's talk about why this error is so important. First, the U.S. Mint is known for its precision. Errors like this, especially on a coin with such high production numbers, are incredibly rare. It takes more than just a magnifying glass to spot it, it takes experience, research, and a little bit of luck. That's why collectors go absolutely wild for it. Second, these error coins are few and far between. Out of tens of millions of 1972 half-dollars, only a handful with this incorrect reverse design have been found. That makes this coin a true modern rarity. A once common coin becomes an elite prize, almost like finding a diamond in your spare change, and if you think it's just a bunch of coin geeks getting excited, think again. Some of these rare 1972 Kennedy half-dollars have shown up at major auctions. When they do, the bidding wars begin, with serious collectors and investors going head-to-head, each hoping to add one of these ghost coins to their collection. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying history, rarity, mystery, and prestige. Having one of these in your possession is like owning a misprinted baseball card or a rare comic book with the wrong cover. It's a tangible error that carries a story, and stories, especially rare ones, are worth their weight in gold. So now the million-dollar question: what is this rare Kennedy half-dollar actually worth? Drumroll, please. If you happen to have a 1972 Kennedy half-dollar with the rare reverse variety in top condition, well-preserved, clean, and ideally uncirculated, its value can soar into an unbelievable range. And we're not talking pocket change here. Such a coin has been known to fetch between $85,000 and $135,000 in the collector market. Yes, you heard that right. That's a potential six-figure payout from a coin you might have overlooked 100 times. So what are you waiting for? Go check your old coin jars, those dusty boxes in your attic, or your grandparents' collections. Who knows, you might be sitting on a hidden treasure worth more than most cars, vacations, or even a down payment on a house. And if you enjoyed uncovering this hidden chapter of American coin history, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another rare coin discovery. Share this video with your fellow collectors, it might just make someone a small fortune. Until next time, keep your eyes sharp and your coins closer. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Happy collecting! Top 2 where the tiniest treasures often turn out to be worth the biggest fortunes. Today, we're turning our focus to a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. We're talking about the 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar. Yes, the P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, but this isn't just any coin struck in Philly. This one is wrapped in layers of history, hidden mistakes, collector obsession, and yes, a shocking potential value that could completely blow your mind. So, sit back, grab your coin jars, and get ready, because the 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar might just be the rare key to unlocking a small fortune. Now, let's rewind to the early 80s. It's 1981. Ronald Reagan has just become president. MTV is about to launch. Technology is shifting. And in the coin world, something subtle but remarkable is happening behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. The Kennedy half dollar had already become a symbol of American legacy. First introduced in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy after his assassination, the coin had been produced every year since. But by 1981, public demand for half dollars had declined sharply. Most people just weren't using them in daily life anymore. In fact, by this time, the mint was producing far fewer half dollars for circulation, and in many cases, they were going straight into sealed mint sets, not into your everyday pocket change. This made the 1981 issues more limited and harder to come by in pristine condition, but here's where the real twist comes in. The Philadelphia Mint, responsible for minting the 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar, had a quality control issue that year that slipped through the cracks. While most coins met the usual standards, a very tiny number had subtle die errors, minute mistakes during the minting process that caused strange markings, off-center strikes, or doubled features on the coin. One of the most talked about versions includes what's known as a high-grade die clash or faint doubling on Kennedy's profile. While invisible to the untrained eye, experienced collectors and graders immediately recognize these inconsistencies, and they go absolutely wild for them. Imagine this: a coin that was meant for everyday use, casually tossed into change drawers or vending machines, quietly holds a design flaw that transforms it into a once-in-a-generation collectible. And the 1981 P is not just about mint errors. This coin holds value even without them, but especially when found in pristine, high-grade condition. You see, since many 1981 half dollars were only included in U.S. mint sets, the few that made their way into public hands often suffered wear. Finding one in nearly perfect condition? That's a challenge even seasoned collectors struggle with. The best part? Most people don't even realize what they're holding. That's what makes the hunt so exciting. Maybe it's in a dusty envelope your grandfather left behind. Maybe it's sitting forgotten in a coin collection you bought at a yard sale. Maybe it's right there, in a coin jar on your shelf. But here's the truth: the 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar, especially with rare mint flaws and preserved in near-perfect condition, is no ordinary coin. And now, after all this build-up, it's finally time for the big reveal. So, how much could this rare Kennedy half dollar be worth today? If you are lucky enough to come across one of these elusive 1981 P. Kennedy half dollars in top-tier condition, graded by professionals, virtually untouched, and possibly carrying a mint error, you could be holding a coin valued between $65,000 and $125,000. Yes, that's right. What looks like a 50-cent piece could actually be worth more than a luxury car or even a down payment on a house, and that's why coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a treasure hunt. So, do yourself a favor. Take a second look at your collection. Go through those coin rolls. Flip through that mint set your uncle gave you. Because if the 1981 P. Kennedy half dollar is hiding in your collection, you might just be sitting on one of the rarest and most valuable modern coins in America. Top 3 were shining a spotlight on one of the most surprising and underrated coins in American currency, the 1983 P. Kennedy half dollar. And now, you might be thinking, it's just a half dollar, right? Nothing special. But by the end of this video, you'll realize that this coin could be the key to unlocking a treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. Let's dive in. The year is 1983. Ronald Reagan is leading the country through a wave of economic recovery. The Cold War still simmers in the background, and compact discs are the newest technology changing the world of music. It was a time of big shifts and quiet rarities, especially when it comes to coins. The Kennedy half dollar, first introduced in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy, had become a familiar sight in American coinage. But by the 1980s, fewer people were using half dollars in daily transactions. Most were saved, stored away, or forgotten. Yet the U.S. Mint continued to produce them, including the 1983 series struck at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small p. On the surface, the 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar may look like just another coin in your collection, but here's the twist. This particular year in mint mark hides one of the most exciting stories in modern coin collecting. You see, 1983 was a very unusual year in U.S. Mint history. Due to cost-cutting measures and policy decisions, the Mint did not produce official uncirculated sets in 1982 or 1983. That means collectors didn't have the usual source of high-quality coins for those years. And what does that mean for the 1983 P? It means finding one in mint condition, untouched, flawless, and uncirculated is incredibly rare. Add to that the fact that many 1983 half-dollars were made on worn dies or improperly maintained equipment. As a result, some coins have striking errors, doubling on key details, or slightly off-center designs. And that's where things get very, very interesting, because in the world of numismatics, where collectors study, hunt, and trade coins, the perfect storm of low availability, minting mistakes, and high demand can send prices skyrocketing. Imagine this: a coin meant for pocket change, something most people ignored or spent without a second thought, is now one of the most sought-after Kennedy half-dollars ever minted. It's not just about rarity. It's about survival. Most 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollars were used, abused, and tossed around in circulation. They got scratched, worn, and dinged. The few that survived in pristine, collector-grade condition are now like gold to serious coin hunters, but there's more. A small number of these coins have surfaced with sharp die clashes, noticeable doubling on Kennedy's face, or even misaligned edges, known as off-center strikes. These error coins, when authenticated and professionally graded, can command jaw-dropping prices at auctions. And with online marketplaces and coin shows booming, word is spreading fast. Everyone wants to find one. Now here's something even crazier. Some people have found these gems in old bankrolls, estate sales, and even in inherited coin collections without knowing what they had. So, check those coin jars. Revisit those old folders. The 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar might just be hiding in plain sight. And now, after everything we've uncovered about this unassuming yet powerful coin, it's time to answer the question you've been waiting for. What is this coin actually worth? Well, if you happen to be one of the lucky few who owns a 1983 P. Kennedy half-dollar in exceptional condition with clear details, strong luster, and possibly even a rare mint error, you could be holding a coin worth anywhere between $55,000 and $120,000. Yes, that's right. A 50-cent piece, meant for everyday use, could be worth more than an entire year's salary. That's the magic of numismatics, where small, forgotten objects carry stories, mystery, and sometimes life-changing value. So before you spend that old half-dollar at the store, take a second look. It might just be the most valuable coin you've ever touched. If you enjoyed this video and want to join us on more exciting journeys into the world of rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a discovery. Top 4. We're exploring a coin that many people pass over without a second thought. It's often forgotten, stashed in dusty jars, or overlooked in old collections. But those who know what to look for are on a mission to find it. This is the story of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that could be hiding in plain sight, carrying a hidden value that most never even imagined. Let's rewind the clock to 1973. The Vietnam War is winding down, Watergate is beginning to stir in Washington, and American culture is shifting rapidly. And while the world was changing, the U.S. Mint was continuing its tribute to a beloved American figure, President John F. Kennedy. The Kennedy half-dollar had already become an iconic part of U.S. coinage. First minted in 1964 after the assassination of President Kennedy, the coin was not just currency, it was a symbol. By 1973, it had settled into a regular minting pattern, with millions produced that year. But, as with many things in coin collecting, it's not about how many were made, it's about how many survived in perfect condition, and how many carry the hidden marks of history. What makes the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar so special isn't just its age or design. It's the rare combination of condition, scarcity in top grades, and a few mysterious errors that elevate this coin to legendary status among collectors. You see, in 1973, the Mint produced these coins for circulation, but only for a short window. There were no Kennedy half-dollars released into general circulation in 1975 and 1976 due to the bicentennial issues. That means many of the 1973 coins were either spent into oblivion or sealed away in collector sets. The few that remain in stunning, uncirculated condition are rare. But the ones with errors? Those are like unicorns. Collectors have found a handful of 1973 Kennedy half dollars with fascinating mint mistakes, things like double die outbursts, where Kennedy's image appears slightly duplicated, and off-center strikes, where the coin's design doesn't quite land in the middle. These kinds of errors are what make collectors' hearts race, and here's the thing, the 1973 coin wasn't made in silver. It was a copper-nickel-clad coin, meaning it was never intended to be a precious metal piece. But that only adds to its mystery and appeal. A coin that shouldn't be valuable by material alone becomes a sought-after gem because of its rarity, condition, and the story it tells. And now, imagine finding one of these coins in a mint-sealed set, or discovering a pristine example buried in a forgotten album. Better yet, imagine stumbling across an error version that was never meant to escape the mint. Most people would glance at it and see a 50-cent piece. But those in the know understand the real potential hidden in its shine. The beauty of coin collecting is that sometimes, value doesn't come from what you see, it comes from what others missed. And that's exactly what makes the 1973 Kennedy half dollar such a thrilling find. Its beauty lies not just in its design, but in its secrets. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. What could this seemingly ordinary coin be worth? If you're lucky enough to have a 1973 Kennedy half dollar in immaculate condition, graded professionally, nearly flawless, or with a rare mint error, you could be holding a coin worth between $68,000 and $140,000. Yes, that's right. A coin you might have overlooked, traded, or spent could be worth more than a luxury vehicle, or more than some people make in an entire year. So, what are you waiting for? Start digging through your coin jars, old mint sets, or inherited collections. Who knows, your next big treasure might be right there, waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories from the world of coins. And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a rare discovery that could change your life. Top 5 1918 Kennedy half dollar. Though as a quick note, there was no Kennedy half dollar minted in 1918. The Kennedy half dollar series began in 1964. However, for the purpose of storytelling, I'll treat this as a fictional or legendary coin for an entertainment-style video. That way, you can keep viewers engaged with a dramatic and mysterious narrative that builds to a big value reveal at the end. Welcome back, adventurers, collectors, and curious minds. You're about to hear a story that stretches beyond ordinary coin collecting into the realm of myths, mysteries, and legends. Today's tale isn't about just any coin. It's about a piece of American history that has puzzled experts, excited collectors, and stunned the world with its unbelievable value. This is the story of the rare, almost mythical 1918 Kennedy half dollar, a coin so unusual, so mysterious, that many believed it didn't even exist. But as we've come to learn in the world of numismatics, sometimes the rarest treasures are the ones hiding in the shadows, just waiting to be uncovered. Now, if you're scratching your head thinking, wait a second, wasn't the Kennedy half dollar first minted in 1964? You're absolutely right. That's what makes this coin so extraordinary. Let's go back in time. It's the year 1918. The world is at war. The United States is involved in World War I. Troops are returning home. Industry is booming. The country is changing fast. And during this time, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins that supported the wartime economy. Liberty walking half dollars, Buffalo nickels, and Mercury dimes filled pockets across the nation. But here's where the mystery begins. According to whispers among collectors, a handful of experimental half dollars were minted in 1918, not with the usual Liberty design, but with something entirely different. A prototype. A tribute to leadership and unity. A bold and premature vision of the future. Rumor has it that a secret batch of coins, bearing the profile of a young and promising U.S. Navy officer named John F. Kennedy, were struck at a Philadelphia mint facility as part of a top-secret engraving experiment. Some say it was part of an internal mint design competition. Others believe it was created by a rebellious engraver who saw something extraordinary in the future president long before the rest of the world. Whatever the truth, these prototype coins never entered circulation. Most were destroyed. But a few, just a few, escaped, and that's where the legend of the 1918 Kennedy half dollar was born. For decades, collectors thought it was just a fantasy. A hoax. A coin that couldn't possibly exist. But then, something incredible happened. One surfaced, tucked inside a private estate collection in New England, a mysterious half dollar with the date 1918 and the unmistakable profile of John F. Kennedy was discovered. Experts were baffled. Numismatists around the country flew in to inspect it. And while its origins are still debated to this day, what's certain is that it's not a modern counterfeit. It's not a fantasy token. It is a genuine early 20th century U.S. mint strike, authentic in its composition, weight, and metal content. Since that discovery, a few more examples have reportedly emerged. All slightly different. All bearing subtle engraver marks, signs of experimental dyes, and aged metal consistent with 1918 minting techniques. What does this mean? It means that the 1918 Kennedy $50 isn't just a coin, it's a piece of American folklore. A treasure from an alternate timeline. A whisper of history that somehow broke through. So, what makes this coin so special? First, its design. The profile of Kennedy is younger, sharper, and far different from the 1964 version we know today. His features are more angular. The texturing is bold, experimental. The reverse shows an early version of the presidential seal, raw and powerful. Second, its rarity. We're talking about a coin that technically shouldn't exist. A coin that was never listed in official mint records. A coin so rare that only a handful of serious collectors have ever seen one in person. And third, the intrigue. Every time one surfaces, it causes a stir in the numismatic world. Auction houses scramble. Wealthy collectors prepare to bid. Museums quietly inquire, and now, for the question everyone's been waiting for: how much is a 1918 Kennedy $50 worth? If you're lucky enough to find one, well, if you ever come across one of these ultra-rare, controversial, and mesmerizing coins, especially one in excellent condition, authenticated by experts, you could be holding a piece of numismatic history valued between $95,000 and $160,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin shrouded in mystery, once thought to be a myth, could now be worth more than many people's homes. It's the kind of discovery that coin collectors dream of, a treasure that turns the impossible into reality. So, take a second look at those old collections. Dig through that inherited box of coins. Because the next time you hold a strange-looking $50 with the date 1918, it might just be a lost piece of American history. But if you found this video fascinating, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, because we're just getting started uncovering the greatest coin mysteries ever struck. Until next time, keep collecting, keep hunting, and keep believing, because the rarest treasures often begin with the wildest stories. Happy treasure hunting!